meeting continue. 4.0 is to approve the agenda.
Second.
Any questions or discussion on the agenda? All those in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, 5.0 is communication and reports. We'll start with
You have the numbers that Nancy's put together. For the most part, it's flat. I'm just going to highlight a few things, not go through every. One area that is a little surprising, and I haven't had time to investigate. If we look at first grade, which would be last year's kindergarten, we ended the year at 171, but if you take 18 of those were super K, so it's 153. So this year's first grade is 141. That's about a 12, where'd they go type deal. And I don't have an answer for the group yet. The group coming in is, kindergarten is always a guess, obviously. It might be a little lower than what we were hoping. We estimated, I think, right around 150. That being said, we're pretty much flat with where we were at the beginning of last year. And then the question that comes up, and again, we've talked about this last year, is the slide over the year of, it's not the same every year, but for the most part. So again, other than that, there's some grades that are up, like I say, I'm just throwing it out there. Fourth grade's up 1, fifth grade's up 5 from, where they would have been the previous year. Second grade coming from first grade is up 4, so several of them are up, but that loss there in first kind of eats things up, so anyway, it's not bad. Obviously we'll watch, as time goes on. You lost a smaller group, so we were predicting to be up a little more than where we're at, but no red flags unless someone has, some questions. Like I said, we were just hoping for, again, 10 kids is significant money, when you throw it. So a little surprised, but let things work out and see where we are as we go on.
All right, administration and department head reports.
Righty. I'm going to start with, not that it's not all joy and fun, but on behalf of students, families, staff, it is School Board Appreciation Month. And so hopefully you've seen each Monday, the last 2, we've had a little post thanking all of you for your service. Again, it is a lot of times not a, people don't come when they're always happy type deal. So I thank you on behalf of our families, students, staff for the time you put in and the caring and dedication for our students. So we have printed their certificates again from all of you. And I'm just going to read it. It says, on behalf of the Minnesota School Boards Association and in honor of Minnesota School Board Recognition Month, thank you for your service to Minnesota Public Schools and being a guide and light for student success. So on behalf, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
And if I spelled anything wrong, I'd be more than happy to redo it and fix it. Just a little update, and I don't know if any of the principals will hit on it. Just a little Nexus update. They were here and collected a wealth of information from staff on that opening day. They've also, I sat in on parts of 2 of them today doing some kind of circle backs with admin, showing some thoughts of some stuff that has come out in the, I'm just say, preliminary phases. So things are moving. And they'll keep refining and, like I say, keep the process moving, and we'll see where it goes. But just wanted to give you a heads up, things are continuing to move. I left an Ed Foundation sheet that someone asked me to leave for you. Do what you would like with that if you so advised or so want to do something with it, fine. If not, do whatever. Avid, just giving you a heads up, we're going to have couple come and report in next month. The elective is just a week in or whatever, but just give me a heads up, that'll be here. Some of you talked about or talked about teacher negotiation is 4 o'clock on Wednesday. Mark and I will meet tomorrow afternoon to work on some number stuff and see where hopefully we'll be ready. Giving you a heads up on Friday, I'm going to do a Polk County collaborative meeting in the morning, have something back here, but then I'm going to take the afternoon off. So unless something jumps, don't expect an update or something. If something does, I'll send it out earlier. And I think that's all I have, other than I'm going to ask one more. Policy committee, I'm still waiting on, and Holly's replied, it's been quite a while, but I just want to get things going again, moving if we can set a date. And other than that, that's all I have unless someone has questions. Again, I gave you a little update. Overall, a good start. The principals will talk more. But like I said, a few challenges the first couple of days, but
Sure.
things are running well.
Great. Principals updates, we'll start with, I was gonna start with preschool, but you can, okay. But if you're ready. Or-
We have full preschool classes and every day is getting a little bit easier as the little ones learn the routines and we get everything running a little more smoothly. So that's good. With regards to community ed, I've been doing lots of learning this past month. I've had chances to visit with different people that support that program. And for example, driver's education, I've been learning about that and how that is working. I've been visiting with an individual from the UND nursing department and talking about how we can collaborate with the nursing students to provide some hearing and vision for our preschool kids and maybe the other elementary kids as well. And then our Afterwave program is huge. We've got 60 plus kids that go to Afterwave every day. A few of them are part-time, but a lot of them are there every day. So, and we are fully staffed with that, so that's great. So lots of good things happening and lots of learning that I'm continuing to do every day. So do you have any questions about preschool or community ed? No,
Thank you.
Okay, well, we made it week 1, so that's a win. I shared with you the goals, so I'm just gonna kind of start off going over New Heights goals. So we had stated that we said all students at New Heights will show measurable growth on the FastBridge reading assessment, aiming for a 3% overall increase in school-wide results by the end of the school year. Instruction and support will be adapted to meet diverse learning needs so that every student has an equitable opportunity to succeed. So there will actually be 2 things that we look at the end of the year. That did we make that growth for all students, because we think that's important, whether that's a slight growth or a large growth, but we want all students moving in that positive direction. And then that 3% comes in to help support on the backside. You'll see the overall school district goal that we really want to have that increase of 9% over the 3 years, so 3% each year. And know that we don't do the MCAs, but we will utilize our FastBridge from fall to spring to get that data. So, and then our action plan is really catered to some of the holes they felt they saw within those FastBridge assessments. And so we really honed in to see if making these adjustments within focusing on sight words, segmenting, and the vocabulary. It's not that we aren't working on that, but FastBridge definitely has their terminology that they use compared to our curriculum. And so we wanted to make sure that we're equipping our students to have what they need, what they're being assessed on. So that's where that action plan is built around. Do you have any questions in regards to that?
No.
No? Okay. Next, we got notified today that we got an award for the statewide health improvement partnership, which is the SHIP School Partner Awards. And so this was done prior to me coming, but I'm thankful that we received that. So by doing the Minnesota survey, we were able to get $1,600 that we can use towards the initiative is that to foster lifelong healthy habits, improve community well-being, and ensure that every child has the opportunity to travel safely and actively to school. So that walking and biking. So we're busy looking at what we can order to support that. So that was exciting. A special thanks to Miss Stokey and Miss Hulst for teaching our students bus safety, crosswalk safety, and they will be reading the Little Spot of Safety books with the classes the next 2 days. So getting that taken out of the way. And then we'll have our first spot assembly on Thursday at 8:20. And then lastly, we had a good turnout at the East Grand Forks Showcase. So it was fun to see the kids come. Thanks to Melody for helping to set up. We were able to share with families what the spots mean, and kids could enter a drawing for a free t-shirt. So those just came in. So I'll get to call those 2 students down this week and give them their t-shirt. So that was fun.
These little spots do everything.
They do. Every emotion matters.
And safety.
Yeah. Any questions? No?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Evening.
All right. Yes, as Sierra said, we are in full swing as well. I was commenting to a few teachers and it almost felt like we're in October already instead of day 2 or day 3 of last week. Everyone was just comfortable and ready to be back at school, it seemed like. We are excited. Our science kits have arrived K through 5. And so those have been distributed through those grade levels. At South Point, we'll be expecting about 300 red worms this week. So made sure I let Deanne and Roberta know they are, we do want those here. We, like as Sierra said, we did participate in that EGF showcase, which was just really an awesome time to showcase those spots and really have that family engagement and community engagement for our elementaries. Intervention rotations, we started it on day 3 last week. And with that, on day 3 and 4, we utilized responsive classroom as students were going to new classrooms and learning those new teachers, not just their homeroom teacher. So we utilized that responsive classroom on those 2 days so they could learn their new routine, understand that they're probably going to be in that class for about 9 weeks. So they build that community and that trust in that room as well. And so today is when they actually started the actual testing. So it just beautiful. Like I was down there as they started rotating and they just did a really nice job with it. So hats off to both our students and staff for that. Utilizing our early out Wednesdays, just really again want to say thank you for those Wednesdays because we appreciate that time. Last Wednesday, and we'll continue that through the Wednesdays in September. My staff is just receiving training on items to implement our interventions effectively and really having that opportunity to dive into FastBridge and understand how to utilize that. We have a lot of new staff and even veteran staff just having that opportunity as we go forward and then implement PLCs throughout the rest of the year. And so we're trying to go slow to go fast. And so again, thank you for that. Our South Point reading goal, and I will share that with you as well, is by spring 2026, South Point will raise the percentage of students reading from the fall FastBridge A reading data at grade level by 3% and reduce those in high risk category by 3% through high fidelity use of OG and FastBridge for grades 3 and morphology and FastBridge in grades 4 and 5. As I said, school is in full swing, but we are very short on paras. So if you know of anyone who is interested, we certainly could use some paras at South Point. We are in desperate need right now. Mr. Adolphson and myself, even today, was switching on and off to cover students to meet those needs. And so if you know of anyone who's interested, please share our information through the district as well. Buses, I spoke to Cody yesterday and he shared with us that hopefully by, I said yesterday, Sunday, so maybe it was today. I'm coming or going. Let's see, I told you, it feels like we're just already in it. Just shared that we should have those assigned seats hopefully by the end of the week. There's just, we want to say thank you to all of our busing staff and to Cody. I know there's a few hiccups at the beginning of the start of the school, but just really appreciate all their efforts in getting our students to and from home safe. And so having those assigned seats is a way that we can support those bus drivers and just making sure that both students and their families understand that the behavior on the bus does mean something and that it's a it's not a privilege to ride that bus. It's not a right. It is a privilege, I should say, excuse me. But that we just want to keep everyone safe to and from home. And so we've already had a couple of incidents, I should say. And so we are going to be addressing those right away because we do want to support those bus drivers with that. Again, our library is in full swing, so if you haven't had a chance, I encourage you to stop over at South Point. We've given it a little refresh with paint and new furniture, and so it was just awesome to walk through the library and see the students engaged with books and like just lounging on the new furniture, and they just look like they just love it, and so it's been very cool. And so just wanted to say again, thank you to that custodial staff from the summer, Dara Omang, and then even my husband, Aaron Croach, because he did a lot of work out there. And so just thank you to those individuals. Some reminders as we have started school again is the Hawk on Bigland. That's always a tenuous area. Should I go or should I not go? Please, please, both students and families, just abide by what the sign says, abide by what the signs are telling you to do. I know it seems like it takes a long time, and so that's, I think, where that frustration comes in when it doesn't reset right away, when students want to cross and vehicles want to keep moving on, but it's just important and very critical for the safety of our students that they just abide by those signs. Also, I want to just let families know that they must use the lane that's created. I think we've got an excellent drop-off and pickup area at South Point with our lane, but that they cannot pick up students in our parking lot. We do not want students walking to a car to get into it. They must use the pickup and drop-off lane. Again, that's just for the safety of our students. As Sierra had shared, we were also awarded that SHIPS award, and so we will be looking at ways that we can utilize that 1,600 for it. Probably looking at maybe some more additional bike racks out at South Point. We've got a lot of students who like to bike to school, so that's exciting that we have that opportunity. We will be having our first spot assembly tomorrow morning, so excited to get the whole school together for that. And then also just a shout out for our PTO. We will be having our first PTO meeting for the 2 elementaries. All meetings will be at South Point this year, and our first meeting will be on Thursday, September 18th at 5:30. Any questions?
Melissa, before you go, I just
Yes.
want to, because I kind of forgot, the the East Grand Showcase. I would thank the staff, and I'm going to miss someone. That's why I don't want you to leave. It was Jasmine, is that correct?
Yes.
Jasmine, Melissa, Melody, Carl, Sarah, Laura, all taking time, and it's amazing to see the kids, see people outside, kids and parents outside.
They think we all live at school, so to
Yeah.
see us outside the walls,
So
it's amazing.
did I miss anyone? I think.
That was everyone that was there.
Okay, thank you, because it does
was a
make a
nice night.
difference. The other thing I was going to just hit on, thank you, we have some of the bus drivers here, but something that, again, it comes up with, I just kind of assumed, the drivers would assign seats, and so Cody and I were talking today about, you need to have some input on how you want, because there's different ways to do it. Obviously you can change them as they get going, but, it's just something I hadn't thought about, because again, we, agreed and that's going to happen, but I went, teachers take care of their own seat, so he is going to work. I said, I'd go help put signs up or whatever, but what's the rhyme or reason? And again, we thought about by stop, but then you have complete seats open and kids are going to, or do you put, one kid, say 4 get off in 4 different, I'm just throwing it out there that he's working on some stuff and we're going to print and put, names, but share your ideas. Because like I say.
And the true reason, and I know there's a lot of bus drivers back behind me here, is that we just feel like those students, those kiddos get on the bus and they feel like they own it and they go wherever they want and they don't abide by those rules. And, as a parent, I would definitely pull that vehicle over if my child was jumping over the seat or vandalizing the seats. And so I just feel like this is one way that we can try to help keep tabs and support our bus drivers by doing those, by having those assigned seats. Any other questions or comments?
Questions? Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, middle school. What you're getting past right now is our goals, for the year. They read a little bit differently, than what the elementaries were, but I can give a little explanation on that too. So there's a school culture goal, and our culture committee came up with this last spring. By year's end, an average of 60% or more of students will earn Students of Excellence or Good Standing each quarter. Staff will review data and adjust supports to help all students meet expectations. If you're not familiar with the Students of Excellence or Good Standing, I believe it started a couple of years ago with Mrs. Walter, just to try to give that extra little push for students if they're kind of on that fence of well, maybe a B is okay, but if I worked a little harder, I could get an A. It just gives some of that positive recognition for things. And so it is our goal to have those supports there to, I guess, give that little push to make sure that we're still trying hard to the end of the quarter. Our math goal and our reading goals read pretty similarly. By winter, 70% of students will score an SGP of 35 or more on STAR Math, showing growth from fall. Students making progress will continue, and those who aren't will be monitored and supported. I'm gonna break it down a little bit right now, we're actually in the midst of STAR testing. Some of the classes had already started our STAR testing, which is similar to the Fast Bridge in the elementaries. The secondaries do STAR. And so we are looking at the fall to the winter so that we can try to catch students earlier, rather than waiting till the end to see if we met the goal. It's to try to catch them in winter so that we can help the students that maybe need a little extra help, or appreciate the students who are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And so that we do want 70% of those students will score, and that SGP is the student growth percentile. That is something STAR actually tells us is like adequate growth. If they hit that 35 or more, meaning that they're in that top 2/3 of students in their growth. And that's what we do want to see for the majority of our students. And then again, that reading shows very similar wording for that. It sounds like, I was getting a little context, that the math and English departments actually, when they started developing these goals last spring, got together to try to do that purposefully so that they did kind of match each other, so that we are still with that culture goal growing our character, and then that math and reading growing our academics. Are there any questions on the goals for the year? Okay, one other thing that I had too, just that $1,600 is going to be helpful. I already talked with Mrs. Beck, our school counselor, and Mrs. Hatcher briefly, our social worker, about how we might utilize this at the middle school. It can include new bike racks, new helmets, stickers, like reflective stickers for helmets, anything like that. And so that was some exciting news to receive as well, to have that. The last thing that just to touch on is our enrollment. I know Mr. Grover gave a little bit more specifically looking at the middle school. We have 462 students enrolled in the middle school this year. Some of our classes, especially our 8th grade that has 167 students, they're a little tight. And so we are looking at high 20s. We tried to cap at 30. I think there are a couple of classes that we went over that cap to 31 just due to some scheduling things. But that 8th grade class is big, so Mr. Lohr can work with that for next year. But it sounds like we might be getting is it the 5th grade class this year that's bigger as well? Yeah, so we'll get that 6th grade. So we'll just have to shift a little bit as we'll keep those big numbers going. But it's been great. I've been learning a lot. I have been in some classrooms. When I walk the halls during class, students are in class. When I walk in the classroom, they are working. It is really fun to see. It's really cool to see. We really haven't had too many issues, and even though I've only been with students this was day 5 now, it does kind of feel like it's been months already. So I've felt very welcome by the staff and the students who have introduced me by their nicknames a lot of times. I got to meet Baconator.
Mine.
It is yours. But it's been a lot of fun. Right now, well, I mean, it's past that. The 7th grade football team was winning 12-0 when I just left the game. So it's been a good start to the school year at the middle school. Any other questions? All right,
you.
thank you.
I'll be quick so we can all get to the Vikings game and see when or if they're going to disappoint us this year. So figure out
Or
what that
both.
goes, how that goes, right? It's every year. Lots of things going on at the high school, obviously. As Mr. Grover showed and pointed out to you guys, 646 students right now at the high school. So we'll gladly take your however many you got, 175, whatever. We'll be fine. There are 28 new students this year, 14 have left. Of the 28, we got 9 new freshmen, 6 10th graders, 7 11th graders, and 6 12th graders. So that's good. But we are tight. That's a good thing and a bad thing, I guess you should say. We do have a few classes in the 30s, 31, 32. Try to avoid that, but it's inevitable when you have that many. On a positive note, if you listened or watched the Potato Bowl, the band was out there and had 3 days basically to prepare. And I mean, I'm biased, but they were the best band out there. Maybe minus the UND band, you never know. But there are 72 band members in grades 10 through 12 and 82 choir members in grades 10 through 12 plus 33 ninth graders and 28 ninth graders for the band and choir. So that program is growing immensely, and that's a good thing. So as far as our building goals, we have 2 building goals. One of the building goals is regarding family engagement. All of our teachers are going to create and display ELOs and course schedules and common assessments on the website and on their class sites by the end of the year, but hopefully we said by the end of the quarter. So we'll have those. Our other goal is regarding the STAR test, which we're going to be giving this Thursday during advisors and flex. Changeable, but basically it's saying we're going to increase the number of students in the high school that meet or exceed the state benchmark on the STAR test by 8%. So we don't know what those numbers are, but based on last year's scores, we think we can increase them by 8%. But again, that's happening Thursday and then the 25th as well as a math. So we also got the 1600 that Sierra was talking about. I think other schools got that for doing the Minnesotan student survey. Haven't figured out what we're going to do with that, but we'll figure out something. Had every activity have a home match except for cross country yet, but volleyball has had numerous, football's had one, tennis has had one, soccer's had a few, so lots of things going on. We do have graduation set, a venue at least set for the 22nd of May, and that is at the Chester Fritz. So we got a nice facility there. That place will seat 2,300 people. Should be more than plenty for our facility and needs. The only thing we have to bring over is our actual band instruments. Otherwise, they have set up everything else for the risers and on the stage and all the things, and so they'll be set. So it's going to cost $3,200. So I'll take donations here after. So, but when you think about it, the manpower and the stuff that we do for the week of graduation, it's probably comes out as a wash or maybe here or there, a few dollars. So other than that, we're ready. So.
So they all reference the ship grant. Okay. And so there are, when they say figure out, they gave a list of stuff that can buy. So like bike rack is an option, helmets are an option. So I mean, we don't have a whole lot of choice. I mean, each building might be different, but there's certain things that it's the safe routes to school group or whatever is highlighting obviously biking, and that is where that stuff has to go towards. So we'll get it ordered, has to be ordered by Friday. I hope everyone caught that, get that going. The other thing, which was a good problem, is we had to purchase, was it 20 chairs for the band and choir room because we were short. They need about 10, but to have a few extras. So we did spend a little money we didn't plan on, but that's a good thing.
Yeah. All right. Soraya, do you have anything tonight? You don't have to.
She said she was gonna be gone.
Well, I agree with everybody. It's been a great start. We are right now at 112 paras that we're working with right now. We are down a little bit from last year. And I know there are some big needs still that we're figuring out. We're in the middle of our time study right now with all our students who have personal care attendants. It's a 10-day study that we're doing across the district with all the paraprofessionals for the MA billing. We are at 3,200, 3,000, no, 300,000, 300,000, right around there.
20,000.
Yep. So we're right around there with what we've brought in so far with the billing. We also have met with the special ed team and visited with them also about what these dollars maybe mean for us. And we have a survey out with them gathering input on what are some things they need that we could use these dollars towards and for. So we'll keep you updated on where we go with that, but that's pretty exciting to think that we have some additional dollars to help serve our kids. And with the way funding is and how things look, we want to stay on top of that right now. So that's our big news right now. It's been a really good start, and I think we're going to have a great year. So
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, 5.3 committee reports. Did we have anything further?
Don't.
Okay. 6.0 is the consent agenda. I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Any questions or discussion on the consent agenda? Okay, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 7.0 is opportunity for citizens to speak on items not, did you have anybody? Okay, I didn't either. Moving on to 8.0, district business. 8.1 is to certify the preliminary 2025 payable 2026 levy at the maximum amount.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Any questions or discussion on this item?
And just so everyone's aware, we do this typically come December. If you wanted to lower, the board could, but it's just a typical practice, so. It's in now and
Out in the universe. Okay. All those in favor of approving the 2026 levy at the maximum amount, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 9.0 is payment of claims and accounts.
I'll make the motion to approve the payment of the K-12 bills 129954 through 130064 and the electronic fund transfers in the amount of $917,272.12.
Second.
Any questions or discussion on those items?
And I'm just going to point out, if you look through, you'll see some transfers towards the end which hasn't been done in the past, but that's something the auditors wanted publicly out there.
Okay.
And so again, I approve when Carla transfers and stuff, and I get notified every time there is a transfer, but they wanted it. So you will start to see that stuff. And of course, it goes back a little more. Carla's gone, she'll do her update here at the next meeting. But that's something that you haven't seen, but you will see it from now on, so.
Okay, we didn't vote on that, did we?
Nope.
Okay, all those in favor of paying the claims and accounts, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 10.0, board member comments. Josh, I'll start with you.
Just thank you to everybody. Got through the kind of ups and downs of the first week, and it'll just get easier now.
Lindsay?
No, nothing else.
Amanda?
I don't know, busing has always been an issue and the behaviors have always been an issue. So parents, talk to your kids, make sure that they can stay on the bus so that they can get to school, so you don't have to bring them. That's what I have to say.
Molly? Okay. I had a few on busing too, as well. And thank you for the drivers who are here supporting tonight. We support you. Were there hiccups? Yes. Was there a particular big hiccup? Yes. Is it only gonna get better, like Josh said? Yes. Have a little grace. It was the first week of school. Not taking away from anything how anybody felt, because it's valid too, but I wanna support the drivers, because that can be a big job with all the behaviors that we were talking about. And another thing I want to address, well, one, the hawk system, so thank you for bringing that up. Stop when it's red. And two, like when the stop arm goes out on the bus, stop. We had an unusually high amount of incidences last year,
Yeah,
and
we
I
did.
don't want to see that again this year. That was just abhorrent. So do not go around a bus. The consequences could be deadly, and that is not a joke. So, thank you to all of our group here and everyone else who is listening in. It's the start of the school year, and it does feel like it's been years, and I just sent my kid for 4 days, so there you go. Next Board of Education meeting is September 22nd, 2025 at 5:30. I'm assuming we'll need to have one. Maybe,
No.
we'll see. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second. Any questions or discussion on adjourning? Right, all those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?